Hi, welcome to KCFF. I'm glad you can join us. There's still so many wonderful films to see, some in person and some like you're watching right now online, streaming this. And so glad you chose Drinkwater. What a feel-good movie and a great film for this time that we're all living through right now. The film works on so many levels, not the least of which is because of our guest next coming up, Mr. Daniel Doheny, who's coming to us all the way from Vancouver. Thank you for joining us, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I was watching the film and I'm going, oh, this guy reminds me of someone. Who does he remind me of? And my first response was, you remind me of a younger Andrew Garfield. And did you kind of weren't surprised by that? It looks like maybe you've been told that before.
No, yeah, I've been told that before, yeah.
Yeah. So if Andrew Garfield ever takes a father role, you can easily step in as his son.
I auditioned for a role where I would play a young Andrew Garfield once, but the project fell apart because Kate Winslet couldn't do it.
Kate, always throwing a wrench into things.
Yeah,
look what she did to Leah Caparo's career.
I know, she screwed us both.
Yeah. So yes, literally in one case.
Well,
I just meant in Titanic, character-wise.
No, I know.
Yeah, exactly. This is inappropriate for this kind of show. Okay, let's get back on track. This Drinkwater is a funny movie, and Campanelli uses a lot of pop references that I imagine are not in your wheelhouse. And I wondered how you dealt with that. One of them, I mean, the most obvious one is Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually a pretty big Kung Fu movie fan. There's a scene in the movie where I am asking Wallace if she's seen a bunch of different Kung Fu movies. That wasn't really in the script. That's just me rattling off a bunch of my favorite Kung Fu movies. So I'm actually pretty well versed in the genre.
Well, that's interesting because I do believe you mentioned Five Fingers of Death in that, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was the very first Kung Fu movie I saw as a kid.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I didn't think anybody knew that movie. I was very impressed, and I was crediting Campanelli for that.
Oh no, that's all me.
Okay, that's great. Well, so were there many chances that you got to ad lib in the film?
Yeah. I ad lib actually a lot in the film. There's a lot of stuff in there that I said, and I'm very surprised that they kept in. But nope, there's a lot of stuff in there. That's just me riffing.
Yeah, is that a dangerous thing to do? Like on set? I mean, are you worried that the director's going to get like snap at you or something? Or
yeah, I guess it is kind of dangerous. It is kind of dangerous sometimes, but I think it's really helpful. It's some of my other projects that I've done. I feel like I could have done more ad-libbing. It just kind of frees you up, lets you feel a little bit more comfortable, and it's. I don't know. I like that stuff. Usually it's surprising stuff that comes out of your mouth that you never thought you'd say. So,
yeah, but in character. So is that a little more freeing too? It's that it's not really Daniel saying this. It's Drinkwater.
Yeah. Yes. That's freeing, and it helps you settle into the character a little bit more too. If you're not quite sure, just say whatever comes to mind, and then all of a sudden you're there. You have to be there because it's totally present. So.
How'd your co-stars respond to that?
Pretty well. I mean, yeah, pretty well. I try to. It's you kind of have to move between the lines. Either do it at the beginning of the scene, or just throw it in between actual lines, or at the end. You can't totally derail it because I still have respect for the scene and my the other actors in the scene, so I can't totally derail everything.
No, but it does give them something to work with, and particularly the young woman who plays opposite you. And I'm sorry, I should have that name right. Sorry,
Larisa is her name.
Yes, she was great and incredibly charismatic, like yourself on camera. And I really want to know that you guys got along. I really want to know that there was some kind of cool chemistry
I
happening.
will not disappoint. Yeah, we got along really well.
Excellent.
That's one of the reasons why you can feel comfortable with ad-libbing, is if you're getting along with your co-star, it's fine. I mean, it's totally fine. Yeah, we were really comfortable with each other, and yeah, I mean, there was a couple days where I got some stomach bug, and I felt terrible for maybe 2 days, and she made me feel really good. I came to set one morning just feeling terrible, and she really helped me out of it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we're good friends for sure.
What about Eric McCormack? Of course, I think you probably get asked that a lot, since of the people appearing in that film, he perhaps has the most recognizable face.
Definitely, yeah, definitely recognizable. Yeah, I mean, Eric's amazing. He's such a nice guy, just a great actor, and just a really impressive individual. He's just really charismatic.
Is he a West Coaster as well? Or
yeah,
I thought so.
He's got a house in Vancouver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're in Vancouver now. You are, anyway. Yeah. And tell us about where you're living and what is things like in BC right now for you?
I'm living I live in Vancouver. I live in East Van. BC is pretty good right now. It's been pretty warm here. The weather's been nice, and it seems like most of the COVID restrictions are starting to lift. I'm kind of glad that we're still keeping them in place for a little bit, but they're kind of seeming to lift. And yeah, I don't really, that whole situation. I sort of at the beginning of the year, I just didn't know anymore. So I'm just kind of going along with whatever.
So I take it you weren't you didn't drive a truck all the way over to Ottawa then, across country?
No, I couldn't get my truck. Couldn't get my truck in time to get over to that particular protest.
Yeah, but in Vancouver also had some flooding this year. I hope you weren't affected by that.
Not really. Nope. Wasn't affected by the flooding. No, there was some torrential downpours for sure, but no flooding in our place.
So because of the career you're in and much of your work, I assume that you don't get to spend a lot of time at home. I assume that you're away a lot.
Yeah, when I'm filming, I'm usually away. I mean, we filmed Drinkwater in Penticton, which is just in the interior of BC, in wine country. But yeah, definitely when I'm filming, I'm away. But the reason why I enjoy being an actor and I kind of got into it is that kind of romantic travel lifestyle. I think a lot of actors get into, maybe just artists in general do this stuff so that they can travel. So, I mean, I love to travel. But recently I've been in Vancouver for a while.
Well, the industry is really booming there, correct?
Yeah. There's lots going on in Vancouver. There's a lot of television that goes on in Vancouver that I don't actually audition for. I get auditions for that stuff, but I usually say no to a lot of the television that films here. But there's always stuff going on. Yeah, Vancouver's huge.
Yeah. You know, I want to get back to the film that we just saw, but just before I do, I want to, I started off by saying I was reminded, watching the film, I was wondering who you reminded me of. The Andrew Garfield thing popped in, and then I thought, yeah, you reminded me of the kid from Adventures in what was it, public school. And and for good reason. Campanelli tells me that is you. And
yeah, that is me. Yeah.
I remember how much I loved that film.
Oh, right.
And I was looking at your sort of IMDb profile, and it looks like that film might have really served you well as for sort of starting off your career.
Definitely. I just did theater before doing that film. I mean, I'd made my own films, and I have a comedy group that I make short films with. But other than that, I'd never done any professional films before, so that was my first one. And I met those guys, the guys who directed and produced it. I met those guys doing theater with them. So yeah, that kind of started.
Are they doing other things now? Are they continuing? Because that really was a charming film.
Yeah, they're writing a movie and a musical at the same time. It's the same story. I don't know how much I can talk about it though.
Oh, but that sort of sounds like Tick, Tick, Boom. Back to Andrew Garfield, a musical and a story at the same time. Yeah. Would you do a musical?
Oh yeah, I would love to do a musical. I've done musicals before, back in the theater days. Yeah, I would love to do. I love West Side Story and My Fair Lady. My parents used to have those CDs in the car, so those are pretty ingrained in my mind. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear it because I too am a fan. So when you finally got to work with Campanelli, was there a little bit of you going, I wonder if this is my link to Eastwood?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, every day. Every day I'm asking him to text Eastwood. I have a picture actually on my phone of Clint Eastwood watching the movie that I showed all my friends. So just that alone is cool to me, that he had to sit down and watch me in a movie.
It is cool because you think about that. He's sitting there and he's comprehending your performance.
Exactly. And from as far as Steven said, he liked it. So, I mean, I'm on Clint's good side.
Well, the least he could do is send you a letter and say, good job, kid.
That's true. That would be nice. Yeah.
Your comedy troupe, this intrigues me. So where can we see these films?
There's short films. I have a comedy troupe called, I don't know if we're a troupe. We just make short films sometimes. We're called Human Town. We made a pilot for the CBC a couple of years ago called Human Town. Yeah.
And I assume that's where it stayed at that point?
Yes, it was not picked up.
Wait till they see this movie. They'll be calling you back, begging you for Human Town, begging you for more.
Yeah,
the other cultural references that I talked to Stephen about was the fact that the film had a real feel about breaking away. Now, initially, I was going to say, you probably don't know what breaking away is, but now that you tell me you're familiar with other things of this culture, I wonder if perhaps I'm wrong. Are you aware of breaking away?
I've never seen Breaking Away, but I'm aware of it.
And was this something that was talked about on set?
Yeah, I do seem to remember somebody talking about it, but I've never seen it before. So,
okay. What about Napoleon Dynamite? Was there any of that happening in the film?
Yeah, I suppose there's a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite. I think it's a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more grounded in reality than Napoleon Dynamite's pretty stylized. I think it's a little bit less stylized than that. But I remember when Napoleon Dynamite came out. I saw an advanced screening of it actually.
Yeah. So this is, guys, I noticed too that your next appearance, or at least an ongoing appearance, is in a horror series. But what about film wise? What's coming up?
Film wise, been auditioning a lot for things. I'm planning on making my own film this summer, but yeah, that's still in the pre-production phases. So
I take that will be a feature if it's in the pre-production
Yeah, it's a feature. I wrote it with my partner, and yeah, I'm hoping we can get it off the ground and get it made this summer.
Hopefully. Well, that would be excellent, and then send it off to the festival. Maybe finally, when that happens, we can talk to you live in one of the many great theaters that Kingston has. Have you been to Kingston?
That. I've never been to Kingston. No, I lived in Toronto for a little bit. Been to Hamilton. Been all over Ontario, but I don't think I've ever been to Kingston. No.
It's a beautiful town. I'm from Toronto. You're speaking to me in Toronto. What did you do in Toronto? Acting as well, or?
I just lived there during high school.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I went to the Etobicoke School of the Arts.
With Sarah Pauly.
Yeah.
Except she probably went before you, many years before you. Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure chatting with you. I really like this film a lot. It really sort of is a little breath of fresh air. Light, funny, and your character is very charming in it.
Great. Well, thanks. Yeah, I think I know Steven wanted to make a movie that would make people feel good and make people laugh. I think that's underrated nowadays. Pretty important. So people seem to be responding well to it, which is nice.
I think they are. I do have to ask what your audition process was with Steven. I mean, did you do the Drinkwater we saw, or was it a bit different?
I think I did. Yeah, I keep all of my audition tapes, so I probably have it somewhere. I should put it online or something. But I mean, it was during COVID, so I couldn't do anything in person, which I usually really like to do auditions in person. But now everything is done on tape and done this way, done over Zoom. So I had to do everything over Zoom before meeting anybody. I mean, I also didn't know that it was based off of a real person, Mike Drinkwater. I didn't know that until I got on set in Penticton. So
I didn't know that either.
yeah. There's a real guy named Mike that it's the producer Graham and Mike made a short film which is shown at the end in the credits on 8mm, and so it's a little bit based on a real guy, kind of loosely.
Well, you immortalized him.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was pretty go. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, take care.